What's up, everyone? It's Taylor Twellman from Major League Soccer and Apple TV. Matchday 9 came and went with some big headlines in and around Major League Soccer. FIFA President Gianni Infantino made a visit to the MLS owners in LA. 72,000 plus people, a record crowd in Kansas City, Missouri, watched the Lionel Messi show. New York City Football Club finally get their approval done for an $800 million stadium project in Queens, which will set this league on fire, and a performance from the Columbus Crew in Mexico that saved what was a shocking display from Major League Soccer teams in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which is where I want to start with Twellman's takes. After the introduction of Leagues Cup last summer and the success that Major League Soccer teams had in that, you knew there was going to be a revitalized energy from Liga MX's teams to right the ship, to pay it back in CONCACAF play, and boy, did they. When you consider the 7 games that MLS played against top-tier Mexican teams, Pachuca, Tigres, Monterrey, and America, MLS didn't win a single game, including Columbus versus Tigres. They were outscored in those games 33-10, which says what? There's still a gap between the top 4 or 5 teams in Mexico and Major League Soccer. It's not money spent. It's the depth of the money spent, especially when it comes to those 4 teams in Mexico. And I'd even throw in Chivas, because they have 2 players in each position fighting for their spot, but also 2 players that are expensive on the world market, which leads me to the bigger picture. The Board of Governors in Major League Soccer met this past week in Los Angeles, where FIFA President Gianni Infantino spoke to them about taking advantage of the window they have right now. Copa America this summer, FIFA Club World Cup in 2025, and ultimately the World Cup in 2026, all happening in the next 3 summers right here in this country. He urged the owners to, quote, think big and be bold, end quote, in pushing the league to reach its potential, which is in his mind, find this interesting, the potential to be the best league on this side of the world. Now, in order to do that, Major League Soccer has to be more consistent in their Champions League play, in their continental competition, and the rosters have to be deeper and better, and that is where the news, the rumors, of new roster rules coming this summer that will hopefully do that, and hopefully push that meter further. But the question will always be, is Mexico scared of Major League Soccer on the world market? See, Major League Soccer got their attention 18 months ago and then brought it to the forefront with the Leagues Cup domination last summer. And Mexico is pissed, and they're ready to make a point. And they have in this version of the Champions League. This rivalry is reaching another level, which is ultimately going to push Major League Soccer to the next level. Speaking of the next level, 72,000 people showed up in Kansas City, Missouri to watch an MLS League game. That is the 4th largest in league history for a single MLS game. Just let that sink in. See, 28 years ago to the day where Kansas City Wizards made their debut in Major League Soccer in that same stadium, a stadium that I played in where at one point we barely got 10,000 people to show up. Well, guess what happens? The Illig family buys the franchise, they show up, they transform the franchise, rebranded, rejuvenated, reloaded, and ready to help move the game forward in a market that is a thriving sports town. People came from all over the world to Kansas City, Missouri, South Dakota, Minnesota, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, all people I met along the way into the stadium that stopped me to say hi, show their passion and love for the league and the sport. Even their quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, wanted to be there 90 minutes before kickoff to soak it all in. And tip of the cap to the fans, because I was suspecting a pro-Messi crowd. It was a pro-Kansas City crowd, and then some. But how do you not marvel what Messi does on and off the field? People forget that in 2008, Sporting Kansas City played their last competitive game in that building against the LA Galaxy, where Inter Miami owner David Beckham was in town, and they only drew 26,000. Messi shows up, they sell out in less than a week, but then it's the ability to rise to the occasion every single time and give the people what they want. The assist, the goal, the win. We take it for granted what he does and what it all means, and when it's all said and done, will we ever see the likes of this again? I doubt it. How good was Atlanta United versus the Philadelphia Union Sunday afternoon? The game had it all. Goals, mistakes, referee decisions that left you shaking your head. It's remarkable, though, how Philadelphia remains unbeaten. Coming off an offseason where they spent little to no money bringing in new players, because for what it's worth, re-signing new players isn't doing business, in my humbled opinion. Yet the reports of head coach Jim Curtin using extra days off and pizza after games as motivation gives me the feel of the Bad News Bears. And for you youngsters, it's a movie in the early 80s about a bunch of misfits in Little League, the least talented team, the outsiders, who go all the way to the championship and eventually lose. Union fans, I'm sorry, but apropos, huh? As for Atlanta United, the expectation level when the season began was this is the best roster they've had since winning MLS Cup in 2018. And that they would be back in the conversation for the best in MLS. In order to get there, they needed to dominate at home again, the same way they did in the first 3 years in the league, the best team at home. They needed to dominate at home too because they're terrible on the road. They've only got 9 wins in the last 57 games away from the Bens, which puts an extra emphasis on their home games. You're up 2-0 at home without Giakoumakis. You cannot afford to lose 2 points. You cannot afford to give away points when you have aspirations of a home playoff game in the difficult Eastern Conference. It wouldn't surprise me, everyone, if we're talking about this game being a deciding factor at the end of the year for both Philadelphia and Atlanta United. One of the highlights of the 2023 MLS regular season was the introduction of the St. Louis City Sporting Kansas City rivalry. That culminated with Sporting Kansas City beating them, the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, as an 8-seed underdog. So what will the version of 2024 look like? See, Sporting Kansas City, mixed results. 5 home games in 2024, yet they've only won 1 of those, and that being against the worst team in the league in San Jose. While St. Louis City, they were winless in the last 5 until Austin came to town. And João Klaus finally scored. He hadn't scored from the run of play since September 30th of last season. Think about that. Now, that goal gives St. Louis City only their 2nd win of the year, when in comparison to last year at this point, they already had won 6 times, which led them to the best regular season in MLS expansion history, which ended with a huge disappointment against their biggest rivals. Will they exact revenge? We're going to find out Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can watch that game in front of what should be an electric atmosphere in Kansas City on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. While for the latest episode of Offside, catch up on it on Apple Podcast.